Republicans label upcoming No Kings protests as Hate America rallies. In the lead-up to what organizers anticipate will be a massive wave of anti-authoritarian demonstrations known as the No Kings protests, Republican leaders have seized the moment to frame the gatherings as hostile attacks on the nation. The strategy, which mirrors a playbook used during the June rallies, seeks to portray the anticipated Saturday protests expected to draw millions of participants from coast to coast as Hate America events that threaten public order and the legitimacy of President Donald Trump's agenda. By casting the protests in such stark, negative terms, GOP strategists aim to galvanize their base, shift media narratives, and justify a more aggressive response from law enforcement agencies. The No Kings movement, which grew out of a broader anti-authoritarian sentiment, is organized by a coalition of grassroots groups that argue for a more participatory democracy and oppose what they see as an increasingly autocratic administration. Protesters plan to converge in major cities, hold peaceful marches, and use symbolic gestures such as removing crowns from statues to underscore their demand for a government that listens to ordinary citizens rather than a single, powerful figure. Republican officials, however, are quick to highlight the potential for violence, pointing to isolated incidents from the June protests as evidence that the current wave could spiral out of control. They argue that the sheer scale of the upcoming demonstrations, projected to involve several million people, creates a fertile ground for extremist elements to exploit the crowd, thereby endangering public safety. In statements released to the press, party spokespeople have warned that the protests could be co-opted by foreign adversaries seeking to sow discord in the United States. Critics of the Republican narrative contend that the framing is a deliberate distraction from substantive policy debates. They note that the administration's own actions, ranging from restrictive voting laws to aggressive foreign policy maneuvers, have fueled public frustration and motivated the No Kings call to action. By labeling the protests as Hate America, GOP leaders, according to analysts, hope to delegitimize the dissenting voices and shift the conversation away from the underlying grievances. As Saturday approaches, both sides are sharpening their messaging. Protest organizers continue to emphasize nonviolence, urging participants to bring signs, chants, and a clear demand for democratic renewal. Meanwhile, Republican strategists are preparing a coordinated media campaign, leveraging television appearances, social media ads, and talking points that paint the